Welcome back. We are getting into the semi-finals of the Garnet Chronicles presented by the Gaming Stadium. The TGS Signature Series is presented by Daily Hive. Wondering what's going on in Vancouver today? Daily Hive has you covered. Check them out at dailyhive.com.
And of course, today's event is put on by Canada's leader in esports, the Gaming Stadium. If you're looking for the next big thing in competitive gaming, look no further. The team at the Gaming Stadium are leaders in online esports tournaments and events. Check out the action at tgs.gg.
And if you want to be like Baphomet in real life, you can recycle your energy drink, can of pop, or juice box you finish your fueling on with Return It Express. There's no sorting, no lineups, no handling cash, and the refunds are deposited straight to your online account. You can just drop off your empties at an express depot near you and go. Signing up is easy. Just head to returnit.ca/express to give your empties a second life.
Definitely going to be needing some refueling after some of these games because they have been pretty intense. We'll be heading into our first semifinal match here pretty soon. We'll be spectating OKOL, who we saw yesterday in day one in the Swiss round, versus KANAHAMU, who we also saw yesterday during the Swiss rounds. So I'll be excited to see them back here again. OKOL, of course, with that 2000s early internet spelling, is playing some good old Shadow and Portal, and KANAHAMU is playing some Sword and Shadow.
Yeah, some really fascinating player picks here from both players. OKOL is a story character, and KANAHAMU
is adorable, really.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Looks just like him. Really captured his best facets there. So OKOL going second here with the Machina Portal. We do see Spinaria in this build. And KANAHAMU gonna toss away the series, keeping both Bone Fanatic and the Wicked Rebirth going first. I think I can respect that. Wicked Rebirth is such a strong card that you really, I think you want to keep it as often as you can. Although nowadays, I think there could be more of a reason not to keep it sometimes, just because the card draw is a little bit less important than it used to be when it was a Grimoire deck, but still just an insane card. I like to keep it as often as possible.
Drawing a 2-drop off the 2. Yeah. Nice.
Very nicely done from KANAHAMU. OKOL finally with Iolan on turn 1. We haven't seen that all day, I feel like. Enforcer off the top as well. Pretty nice top decks from these players. And of course, since we are going second, although we did play Iolan, so the Sylvia actually is not going to be in Resonance on turn 4 this time.
Yeah, but at least he does have that Baphomet fused in so that he can get a Tentacle next turn if he so chooses. If he really cared about toggling Resonance, he could accelerate Spinaria, but that would be an interesting choice.
Right, that's for sure. Gonna throw out the Armored Tentacle here in place of having an actual 3-drop. That's pretty much one of the advantages of that card, but the Wicked Rebirths not looking too hot anymore from KANAHAMU. Sometimes this can happen, and I guess this list, because we play multiple Chris, there are a lot of ways to draw dead cards. So sometimes those Wicked Rebirths, if you decide to keep it, it is a really strong card. But every now and then you get this type of situation where you don't have the Last Words followers and you're just kind of chilling with a whole lot of nothing to do. And I guess he's maybe even thinking about using one of the Rebirths right away to get another Bone Fanatic, or sorry, the Armed Goblin back, and push a little bit more damage that way. And that would be a decent board.
Yeah, it would also generate at least another Last Words follower, so it can get the second Rebirth closer to being able to draw a card as well. It's not the greatest feeling play, but it might be all he really has. I mean, Necro Impulse is also an option if he wants to use that up, but yeah, going with the Rebirth, it's just...
Yeah, Rebirth, I think, is pretty reasonable here. Okay, it's going to hit the
Bone Fanatic.
Bone
I think
Fanatic.
the Wicked Rebirth only grabs Shadowcraft followers. That might be why it did that. I'm not sure.
It does.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Mhm. Going with another tentacle.
More tentacles, and gonna just trade that one off and get another ping onto one of those skeletons. Iola gonna come out as well. No Ramiel today. A big surprise for sure.
Yeah.
No absolute tolerance either. Just gonna have to rely on quite possibly the turn 9 Baphomet, the honest turn 9 Baphomet, to hopefully win the game from OKOL.
And because he's playing the Islands Remains out there, this Sylvia is just never gonna see resonance. At this rate, at least.
Yeah, because we even have Spinaria for turn 6 as well as an option. It's nice for KANAHAMU that these Wicked Rebirths are finally active. He's going to hold on to that last one in case he wants to play it for 10 later on in the game or when he actually has something he needs to clear. The Chris's in hand don't do a whole lot, but the other world is nice. So that at least is going well for him. Mega Enforcer gonna evolve essentially for free here. Gonna take out the 5-2. And
Joe Colossus Omega.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, we are seeing the accelerate Spinaria. We will finally be in resonance next turn. The resonance
only
control
if it's
is
destroyed.
Here.
It has to be destroyed.
Only if it's destroyed, right?
Because if SoCool trades it out himself, I don't think there are any artifacts in his deck.
Hopefully not, yeah.
I don't know what could possibly be in his deck.
But there is another Spinaria in hand, so that could be the option next turn anyway. Sylvia plus Enforcer or whatever the next draw is could also be a possibility. Double bikes. You don't see that all too often. If there was a series in hand or from like a previous turn, that would have been absolutely crazy, but
some part of my Unga Boonga brain would have just like played the Necro Impulse. It's like, this has to go face. It has to.
The cashing in? Okay, respectable. You're not gonna get double bikes like that ever again, probably.
Here's a single bike at least.
Yeah, here's a single bike here. Gonna clear out the board, get the Kagero into play, and have a nice bit of damage set up with one Soul Strike plus Necro Impulse.
Goodbye,
Sylvia milled off the top. We haven't really been putting her into much use this game, so I guess that's just fitting.
But she would have been able to have been played this turn. She would have done a nice little double combo Sylvia, but I don't think Sylvia is going to be the play for SoCool here either. Going with a Baphomet fuse, really liking to fuse that Baphomet at any given
a lot
opportunity.
Of fuses so far, and another Mega Enforcer here. More free Evos for basically playing Rune at this point. Gonna clear out the other World of Hour and trade over the 2-2. Give him the Soul Strike. Now, with one bike on board, is this enough for the YOLO Impulse?
I mean, we're a little bit short on shadows.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully it's not a YOLO Impulse angle here. By trading in the Bone Fanatic, we can get the 3-1 skeleton back onto the bike and clear the Armored Tentacle fairly nicely there. And we could... The only thing is we kind of want to play the Psycho Pomp because our hand doesn't have a whole lot of options in it. And if we want to use this 3-1 to clear, it's going to be a little bit tough to get anything out of the Cycle Pump, unless we tempo out a Chris, which we have 2, so not the worst choice here. And we could even use the last rebirth. Oh, okay, it is actually active for 10. Yeah, okay, nice. So we can rebirth here and then see what we get, see what we draw. A lot of options for KANAHAMU here. Gonna see how he wants to use all of these options. Yeah, this is a lot of bikes actually. The Soul Strike gonna come out and a nice buff on the board. Okay, so SoCool needs to not only deal with this, but still like win the game quickly enough to not get killed by these Necro Impulses and the Soul Strikes coming out. KANAHAMU still very smartly holding on to an Evo point for that Necro Impulse combo at some point later on. And
But if this board is cleared out with the Bike, Necro Impulse, and Soul Strike, if everything is removed, it's not quite lethal because of the heal from the Armored Tentacle that's now on the board, but also you're not full clearing here.
Yeah, he's actually just not clearing a whole lot. He's only gonna leave, or he's gonna leave one of the 7-2s up, and okay, so he gives him the Soul Strike. It's not a targetable follower though, so still can't actually use it. And off the top, Series, that would have been really great a few turns earlier, but still very nice to have now. Can put a lot of stats onto the Chris, actually. Although, you can't really give the Chris last words on this turn and also give it the Series. So you could see Darkest Desire into Chris. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Other option would have been like Chris and then Retrace, but I think this is pretty good. All right, you're giving it last words anyway. What am I saying? Yeah, so this is just the best play for sure. Yeah, that's not a whole lot that Portal can do from this situation.
Yeah, just a rough position to be in. Kind of just dealing with an awkward hand a majority of the game. Not finding anything that could really act as an earlier win con, like an Absolute Tolerance or even a Grimnir.
Right. And
but
like,
with all the board in the way, it's a rough position for OKOL to be in.
Honestly, how does Evo Portal even win this matchup without Tolerance, or even with Tolerance? Because say you have one Tolerance here, it's like, what is that even gonna do, right? Even if you were to clear this board, there's more on the way, there's damage from hand, you're not actually in a winning position like that, and it's a tough, really tough matchup for Evo Portal. OKOL actually, with a change of heart there, actually turning into Miltio halfway through the match.
Yeah, I can appreciate it.
Unlucky ping there, actually not going to be able to... Well, it doesn't matter too much anyway because of the Series last words, and there's just a ton of damage in hand anyway. KANAHAMU takes game 1 very convincingly with the last word Shadow.
Last word Shadow still strong after, in this expansion once nerfs happened. There was a little break where we got to not play Last Word Shadow for a bit, but...
Right. And now, even without Gremory, we just have so many strong ways to make insane boards. And, you know, because we're not running all of the Gremory stuff, we can accelerate that last word count a lot more consistently and hit the early Chris and just pump out strong board after strong board. And then finally, Kagero can actually be useful and not because you don't have to really worry too much about your shadow management. So pretty good there. Nice curve.
He found a nice curve, but seeing those gold mines that he has in his deck reminded me of what options he has in his list that we saw yesterday. He has Tri-Head Hound in his list, so that was something we saw. Not the most conventional pick.
Yeah, now that is a spicy one for sure. Now, Three-Headed Hound is like 3 or so last words, or
2,
I think, for a single card. Is it 3 or is it just 2?
You get 3 followers, but the third one doesn't have last words.
Right. That's what I thought. Yeah, okay. So, there he is. Okay, very nice curve there. You can play the Tri-Head Hound on 3 and then save the other world for a future turn, or perhaps guarantee the Evo on it. Okay, this is really good. Omnis Tyrant into Psychopomp. Classic combination there from last expansion. Really, really good. You can pop either the Lurching Corpse or the Hell's Unleasher, and they're both really strong options depending on what you're looking for. Or neither at all if you don't need to, if there's something like, well, not this game, but if there was a Jerva in theory. But there's so many options available to you once you have these strong early game cards as Last Word Shadow.
Yeah, Sokol choosing to go with the Otherworld Gatekeeper rather than the Tri-Head Hound on 3 here, going for a wider board to maybe contest and trade off against the sword.
KANAHAMU deliberating what to trade here. Gonna go for a value trade or for minimizing damage right away. And does trade the Kagero and also is not going to give the Soul Strike because there were not enough shadows to proc the Necromancy. And gonna trade off the Bone Fanatic. It looks like a double trade into the 1-2 actually. And into the Tri-Head Hound. What a power play. Double trade into a 1-2 into Tri-Head Hound. Wow.
Wow. This is gaming.
That's gaming. Absolute gaming. Wow. You don't see plays like this every day.
Yeah, Blade Right's Lieutenant coming out, summoning, getting that free Evo because we're going second. Going to Evo the Cat Admiral, not get the full board out of it because there's not enough space, but still getting the ward at least. And
yeah, really nice that we get the ward first, and we are winning too much, so we get less rally. The 3-3 will be able to connect face. Very nice there from KANAHAMU.
KANAHAMU choosing not to trade with that Tri-Head Hound, not wanting the 2-1 to get summoned in its place, not seeing the value in that for him.
Yeah, good choice there, I think. And the pretty wide board, all of these could be decent targets, although we're actually not going to clear out the 1-1 first. Let's see what happens here. Okay, yeah, of course. Nice. Okay, very good. You like to see that one.
This is
if
gaming.
You're KANAHAMU, at least. This is like reverse gaming. Oh, man. Really, really unfortunate there. Punished
Gold
for
mine.
not...
Is it gonna get the Tri-Head or is it gonna get a Gatekeeper?
Oh, wait a second.
It gets the Tri-Head!
Oh, with the emote.
Oh, man.
What are these plays, honestly? This is actually kind of crazy. There's just so many... Like, honestly, who exactly let the dogs out? I really want to know, because these Tri-Head Hounds... Did. I mean, they're not that scary, honestly. There's 6 damage on board. You're already at 15 health.
But they are turboing out the last words. There is that aspect.
There are a lot of last words, but your health is in danger, so-called. And there's also no Chris in sight as of yet. This is looking really, really bad, honestly. But it could all change with a single top deck. If we hit like Rebirth into Chris or something like that, could be winnable. KANAHAMU only has a few ways to spend his play points here, and I guess I'm gonna see if he can try to pop some rally effects this turn. I don't know if he can pop Squirrel, if that's possible.
I mean, if he's making the board space after evoing this Cat Admiral, I think he's just going face, maybe? Who knows?
Yeah, like if he wants to, okay, like so he's not going to trade off the 3-2, he's just going to leave it like that. That's definitely fine. It's a strong board anyway, and you push maximum damage. Okay,
trading
trade off
is for suckers,
says
KANAHAMU.
Retrace the past. That's not a bad draw. We can get some healing. Oh, that's not what you wanted to see. Unlucky there from the Wind God top deck. If only we had the Miltio on 5, we could have avoided all of this Kappa. But here comes the Miltio now on turn 6, gonna throw away the Wind God and the Otherworld. And I don't know how much this could affect the outcome of this game. There are not a whole lot of great targets in here. Kagero, oh wait,
Kagero.
Okay.
And also okay, board.
That's a lot of stats. And well,
Sokol doesn't have a lot of health, but he does have a lot of followers. He doesn't have a lot of cards in hand. But
okay, so the silver lining, I guess, is that KANAHAMU doesn't have any trees for the Mistalina and Baleon. So not too crazy yet. And in fact, he may have to take this turn a little bit more slowly again with the Squirrel. And if that's the case, then Sokol could actually try to run away with the board this game, with the Tri-Head Hounds providing more value than KANAHAMU ever could have anticipated.
Yeah, those retrace in the past also helped just find new cards, add some last words, get some health back to extend Sokol's resources as much as he could.
Yeah, so I think, did we proc one retrace? We did proc one, right? And then the other one is on the first Lich.
Mm-hmm.
I believe, yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna play the 6-cost Mistelina here. I think he just wants to set up lethal and
hits a 4/4.
Oh, but wait.
Face gaming.
Okay. Well, okay, we're using our last evil point. We're just going face. Ignore most of the board. This is kind of dicey. I'm not sure how long. Oh, no! Oh, that's perfect. Almost
Spicy.
Perfect. I think it would be... Is it even better to hit Chris here? Well, we're going to trade off the Miltio anyway and see... Okay!
Whoa, wait a
Okay,
second. How much damage is there?
Well, since we traded off the Miltio, there's definitely no chance of lethal this turn, I think, but...
I mean, we can still get... We trade in the Kage roll, get a Soul Strike.
Get Soul Strike?
And still play Necro Impulse.
Wait,
that's a lot of damage.
Is there 5? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'm miscounting. Could be lethal. Oh,
that's a lot of damage.
I was the NA caster the whole time. It's exact lethal. SoCal, you're so smart. What a 5-head player with the Tri-Head Hound finishing it off. Did that on purpose, I'm sure. Very nicely played there. Looked for his outs, did not slam the top deck Tyrant. That was actually a bit of a bait. Could have given KANAHAMU a chance to maybe find his own lethal there on the backswing. Trading in the Miltio, finding the lethal, very nice. Well played from SoCal, taking game 1, or game 2 rather, evening it up.
1-1.
Each Shadow with a win.
This is Shadow superiority, I guess.
It really is. Shadow is, I think, easily one of the strongest decks in the current meta, and especially if you're not exactly a Forest enjoyer. Forest is like pretty strong, but it's rather difficult to navigate against a lot of these mid-range decks. You always have to like walk that fine line between surviving and having all of your combo stuff. And you often like need a lot of really specific stuff. So Shadow is just like really strong, but also rather straightforward. But it still has that room for optimization. So we're gonna see, I think, a lot more Shadow in the coming weeks. Spinaria on 1. We are playing, I guess, Darkness over Velsar once again. And KANAHAMU with a couple decent cards in his hand here. Oh my, that's not what we want to see just yet, but at least we know we have damage.
And we have a trait for them this time. But not giving the Spinaria draw to SoCal right away. Rather, leave up the 1/1 and keep that united.
Enforcer off the top. This will actually... has the potential to deal 3 damage face if KANAHAMU doesn't want to clear it right away. And it's going to depend a lot on what his next top deck is here. The Enhanced Oathless Knight, really good on turn 4 with the Cat Admiral, so there's a pretty good chance that we just clear the 3/1 here, and then accelerate Core Master on 3 and go 2/2 on turn 4. Looks pretty good to me.
I think KANAHAMU is agreeing with the line.
Yeah, and then hold on to that tree, leave the Spinaria artifact on board. SoCal, there's the Tolerance, drawn very early, pretty much with maximum value, only missing out on 1 damage from the early Spinaria's artifact. Actually, a second Absolute Tolerance. This is looking like a really spicy game already.
If SoCal can find more cards to bridge him through, and there's a Velphamet to start fusing right on time as well.
Destroying target.
Yeah, a lot of options for trading here, thanks to the Archangel potentially for next turn, but actually going to float 4 play points here. No real good way to use any of these cards. Obviously, can't trade off the Spinaria artifact on your turn if you can help it, because it's not going to draw anything. KANAHAMU, pretty good trade here, and then can make a full board with better Ophless Knight into Cat Admiral, the Blade Rights Lieutenant, rather. Very, very good play here. And you can even you could leave up the Spinaria again, or you can get the value trade and make sure it doesn't clear out your 1-1. Board is gonna clear it out. Give him the draw, keep the board in the best possible state. I think that's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, keeping that, trading with the Cat Admiral rather than the 3/3 makes the board just a little bit more resilient to a Nefarious Invasion.
Right. Really good choice there. And Archangel, gonna Evo and see what we draw. Gonna banish back the Maisha and Ramiel and another Archangel. Gonna fuse here for the Armor Tentacle. Not gonna be able to clear a lot of this board, but we do get rid of at least the Cat Admiral.
Those absolute tolerances slowly but surely getting reduced.
Yeah, we've seen Bunny and Baron not be super effective in previous games, but this is about as easy of a Bunny slam as you can possibly get. We have pretty decent rally because of the Core Master Accelerate into a really great turn 4. And we have Balion for the follow-up. Of course, hopefully not immediately next turn. We don't want him riding the car, but we have just a ton of storm damage, probably on 6, or rather on 7 and 8 with the double Mystalinas. Balion, or sorry, the Belphomet, fused into the Technical and then trade off into...
And then banishing the Bunny and Baron.
Very nice with the Archangel. Really great use of that card. I'm gonna Evo it again. Look for even more card draw. Need to find something maybe along the lines of Combustion Demon might be okay. It really depends though.
Damage on the board though.
Okay, it does draw Combustion Demon. Nefarious is also a pretty nice option. We still can't clear that 3-1.
Isn't this just lethal for KANAHAMU?
Yeah.
Going into this next turn, yeah, just the Balion. And with the Cat Admiral after.
The Cat Admiral, yeah. The 2 play point, 2 damage. It's really good.
Too strong.
KANAHAMU really making good use of the Rally Sword. And it all came down to how insane that early game sequence was. We held on to the 2 drops so that we could use them at their strongest on turn 4, and now it's paying off. Everything is going super well. We had so many cards surviving. That Heavy Knight was from 2 turns ago. Yeah. KANAHAMU taking the set 2-1. Gonna advance all the way to the grand finals.
What a great set. Whew.
Yeah,
so much.
That was actually a pretty great set there. Pretty good options from both players that we got to see. A lot of really unique plays as well. We got to see the Tri-Headed Hound. Never thought we would see that one on stream anytime soon, but I mean, it gives you last words and it's a persistent threat on board. So, you know, it does give you a little bit of that mid-game bolstering. And Rally Sword finally coming into, you know, a really good curve into a really strong turn 4, getting that rally up and finding a lot of damage and having unclearable boards. And that's exactly what Rally Sword wants. Really, really well played there from KANAHAMU.